bro. Don't overthink anything, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daddy on me. Daddy on me. What you doing?
To people on a run first.
My fault. What is good, YouTube? How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning, man. It is Monday. We kicking off the week with an early morning live, man. Shout out to everybody who's already in the building. Well, it's early for me, or not really, but it's earlier for us on the West Coast, right? It's earlier for us on the West Coast. Shout out to everybody who's already in the building. You guys already know how we kick these things off, man. Shout out to Raider Coach in the building. We got Flex in the building. Raider Nation Jason, what's good? Vigi, what's good? Dominique, Anthony, my brother Wasted in the building. What's good with everybody? And again, King Juice, Blazing, Raider Nation Kylie, Dominique. Well, it's moving fast. Dominique, bro, I swear I thought this said Drew Sanders, man. That's funny. Darnell in the building, KB. Who else we got up in here? Shout out to everyone who is in the building, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys kicking off the morning with us. We got EJ, was popping, was good, my brother. Johnny, KB, the Raider Room. Jesse Bam, was good. Was good with every single person in the building. We got Isaac in the building as well. Shout out to you, man. But look, we got a couple of things to talk about, right? Because I was looking over the cap space and all this kind of stuff, and a few guys we could get rid of with potentially no cost, man. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on that if we were to get rid of any of these guys. So we're gonna talk about that. We got Primos was good, Stay Raider, Stay Solid was good, Vibe Raider, Mark Davis was good, man. EJ again, Andy was good, Derek was good with my guy Al. Listen up, man. Listen up. So look. We know that right now, I think the Raiders only have about 24, $25 million on the team cap space right now. But there's a few guys that we could get rid of with essentially no cost, right? And there's one that we could absolutely get rid of because he had a team option. On his contract that he signed last year. Two of these guys are people that only signed contracts this last offseason from new teams, and they could potentially already be on their way out after signing a 2-year deal. The first one being, in my opinion, you got to get Brandon Bolden out of here, right? Because Brandon Bolden signed a 2-year deal, was good, my guy, a super Reaper. Brandon Bolden signed a 2-year contract with the Raiders to be their third down running back, so to speak, right? But he wasn't on the field really later on in the season at all, and he was healthy. He was healthy every single game. He was just not on the field. McDaniels chose not to put him out there. And in my opinion, with his cap hit only being $2.5 million with no dead money, you could free up $2.5 million right away to kick off free agency, getting rid of Brandon Bolden's deal. 2.5 back in the bank, right? Simple. He didn't play a major role in our offense. To be honest, our offense didn't really have a major roles outside of, Josh Jacobs and Devontae. But honestly, with Brandon Bolden, I think it's pretty simple, right? $2.5 million, you could get him out of here at no cost. I think that we do that. I think it's a smart move. Vibe Raider, this is an interesting one. I think this is that's kind of like a hot take, right? Because a lot of people like Amik. A lot of people really, really like Amik Robertson. Now, I'm one of the guys that I dislike Amik as a 1, 2, or 3 corner. I think that Amik should be closer to your 4, 5, 6 range. But with the poor depth on this Raiders team, he's been forced to play CB1. He's been forced to play CB2. He's been forced to play all starting cornerback roles. And with Amik Robertson, I think here's the thing. He was very opportunistic this season. Very, very opportunistic. He took his chances when they presented themselves. And I can't be mad at a person like that because they helped us. They helped us at the times that he made those plays. But what I will say with Amik Robertson is that he just doesn't have it, man. He just doesn't have it as an outside corner. He's too small as an inside corner. Coverage skills are very, very, very lackluster in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Amik, but I will say this: if Amik was your fourth, fifth, sixth corner after adding 3 good potential starting corners on your roster, I think there's no problem, and it's totally fine keeping Amik for his final year of his deal. But guys that I think may actually make sense for us to get rid of. Like I said, Brandon Bolden, another guy that could potentially be a cap casualty heading into this free agency period. Is a guy like Bilal Nichols, right? We signed him to a 2-year, $11 million contract. On average, he was making 5.5 a year, but this season he's making around 6.5 with a $3 million cap hit. So if you cut Bilal Nichols, somebody who we thought he's young, coming from Chicago, looks like he can ball. He came here, put up a sack and a half. He put up a sack and a half for the Raiders on a limited snap count, right? We were trying to figure out who could be that pass rushing defensive tackle for us. But Bilal Nichols, if you cut him, you save about $3.3 million. So that could be a thing with Bilal Nichols. Maybe you save another $3 million there. So between him and Brandon Bolden, you could potentially save close to like $5 million. Now the last one I think is pretty big, right? Because this dude was a starter for us. I think he took a big jump from last year to this season. Last year, I was not a fan of Andre. Now, I don't know. I don't know if it's the smartest choice for the Raiders to do this, but this is the thing, right? Many people think that a guy like Dylan Parham, who maybe is more suited as a center in the NFL rather than a guard, can maybe move to the center position. I don't think we should do that. I think that we should keep Andre for his last year of his deal, keep Dylan where he's at. But the idea is there, right? The idea is there. The simple thing is that Andre James is going to make around $5 million this season because we reworked his deal last year. So he's going to make around $5 million this season with only 2.5 dead cap. So again, you could make around $3 million cutting him as well. So you can make close to like $10 million with just those 2 players, and you can head into free agency after DC with like 60, almost 70 million, right? So there's a lot of things that you could do. There's a lot of things that you could do. And those guys, they may be little mini cap casualties, right? We don't have any major ones, right? Guys that maybe we would want, maybe the guys that we would want to get rid of. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Chandler Jones, especially after getting cashed out that big contract. We aren't able to really see a way out of that contract this year. There's a way out of it next year. But the thing is that if you rework Chandler Jones' contract, you're tying him down for this season and next season. But if you let him just go through this year, you have an out on Chandler Jones contracts next year. So we could look at it as, oh, damn, we got to get out of this deal. But nah, man. I think that you keep Chandler. I know a lot of people were talking about maybe Chandler Jones, but I don't see it happening. I definitely could see it happening next year, just not this year, man. I think that maybe he plays one more year with the Raiders and either he retires or he gets cut. Maybe he knows he'll get cut, so he'll retire. But we'll see how that happens. We'll definitely see how that happens. But yeah, in terms of many people saying Chandler Jones, I don't think it'll happen just because we would tie money down to his 3rd year, and we don't really want to do that. Is Rock Ya-Sin in the combo? No, Rock Ya-Sin is actually a free agent, so he's actually technically not on this roster anymore now that the season is over. My thing is that I definitely think that we should bring Rock Ya-Sin back. I think that if you look at the first half of the season when he was healthy, playing with Nate Hobbs, he looked good. He looked very good. He was amongst the top 3 best corners in the league in every statistical category besides interceptions, I believe. And that man was balling, but he dealt with a knee injury. He dealt with a lower, I think it was an ankle as well, ankle injury. He tried to rush himself back, didn't look the same. But I think we should bring Rock back. But yes, he's not in the convo for the fact that he's a free agent, so we don't have to do anything with that. Shout out to Anthony. He says you guys did a tape review showing how bad he was. Yeah, shout out to me and Wasted, man. We did do a film session on Bilal Nichols, man, when we first got him. And I'm going to be honest, it looked like our offensive line, who was even worse last season, was handling Bilal Nichols pretty damn well. John Simpson was having his way with him. Bilal Nichols didn't really do anything in that game against the Raiders last season before we picked him up. Yeah, me and Wasted did definitely go over that film. We weren't too excited on him then. We thought that maybe because that was one of his first games back starting after Akeem Hicks got hurt, maybe he was going to do better now that he would have a full off season and a full role here with the Raiders. It just didn't work. So maybe Bilal Nichols gets cut. Maybe Bilal Nichols gets cut and we save around $3 million. Averett's also a free agent. That is true. James is gone. If Andre James leaves, I would actually be surprised. I don't think that's in our best interest, if I'm being honest with you. What up, Andy? What's good, Mark, man? Carr crash coming before March. Unless they back out of the deal, we will see. Kuntz was a difference maker every time he got a chance. Yeah, it seems like that these last two seasons, right, SVT, bro? It's like they put him on special teams. He blocked the punt, which we haven't blocked a punt in fucking forever. And then when they put him at the end, he would get pressure. He would get there. So we'll see, man. We'll see. What is the situation with Brandon Parker? He's a free agent, so we don't have to do anything with that. Frank says you can restructure Max, Waller, and Chandler and save $20+ million. You can. My thing is that, okay, if you restructure with Max, it makes sense. We know he's going to be here for a very long time. Waller got his new deal this offseason. Maybe you want to restructure with him, but who knows? Because of his injury concerns, maybe you just want to still have an out on his contract. So maybe you don't want to restructure with Waller. And like I just explained, Frank, with Chandler Jones, if you restructure Chandler Jones' contract this year, we have no way to get out of his contract in his final year. So that means that we would have to pay him all his money, $56 million that we signed him for. We'd have to pay all 56 of that, or we could just keep Chandler on the deal he is right now. We don't touch it, and then at the end of this next coming season, we could cut him at basically no cost. So I think you're better off doing something like that than restructuring him this year to help us make a little bit more money. But it definitely makes sense to restructure Max. Now, I have seen a couple people talking about Colton Miller. I don't think that Colton Miller will get restructured to save money for the simple fact that right before Gruden and Mayock got fired, and right before Josh McDaniels and Ziegler took over, Gruden and Mayock actually restructured Colton Miller's contract. So we saved money with him last year, which means that we pushed money back on Colton Miller last year. So I don't think that we're going to do that this year, but we could. I do think that Colton Miller would help us out and say yes, and he would be willing to restructure. But if we restructure Max, Waller, and Chandler, yes, an extra $20+ million does seem nice to have, but I think you're better off just restructuring Max out of those three guys, not all three. Just leave Jones alone for this year. Cut or work around the other contracts. I agree, John. I agree. Shout out to my guy Ángeles. He says, good morning, Andy. Salute to you in the Raider Nation. Shout out to my guy Angel in the building, man. What's poppin'? Is that Tom Brady just win baby clip old or new? I'm not too sure. I was kind of wondering the same thing. So yeah. Kuntz was kind of invisible and did nothing in the time he played. Think McDaniels wasn't effing with no Gruden people other than Crosby, Jacobs, Waller, and Renfro. I think that we would think that Kuntz was invisible because I don't remember any times that Kuntz played off the top of my head because he simply just didn't play enough. But when he did play, he was blocking punts, he was getting pressure on the quarterback. I think that he should have a bigger role. And simply, Josh McDaniels said that he should have a bigger role as well. Josh McDaniels simply said that for his case, it's kind of hard because you have a Hall of Famer in Chandler Jones, 100+ sack guy, and then you have Max Crosby. Those were the words coming out of exactly our head coach's mouth. It seems like he wanted to implement Kuntz more. It seems like maybe he spoke to Patrick Graham about implementing Kuntz more. They just didn't because they felt comfortable with Chandler and Max. And it's like, how can you not, right? Rock is too slow for a CB, but he's big enough to play safety, draft corner. I think that Rock is I think he's just fine at corner, man. I don't know if we should re-sign him to change his position. Let's see. Does Clee come back on the cheap? I was talking about this, I believe, in my last live, right? I believe Clee mentioned on a like a talk show with one of the Raiders like media guys, and Clee was saying that he's a Raider for life. That nobody could take that away from him. But he does understand that there's business side of things, but Clee got that Raider tap, man. Clee is stamped in the nation. I know a lot of us didn't feel like we got the production that we thought we should have had from him at pick 4 overall, but I think Clee should be back, man. I think he was a good piece. I think he was definitely solid as a first and second down outside linebacker, stopping the run, going up against tight ends, making sure that the edge was set. I think he did a phenomenal job on that this year, and I would love to see Clee come back around maybe like $7 million a season, right? Last year, because he was on his last year of his rookie deal, I believe he got 9. But I think that he should come back a little bit cheaper than that. And I would love to bring him back. But he's young, so he may have a market, man. He may have a market. Teams do pay role players, and that's what Clee is. And I think that if he went to another team with more talent on the inside, maybe there would be less pressure for him to beat double teams, because he was double teamed quite a bit. Not this season, but last season before he got his snap count reduced because of Chandler. I mean, look, the problem is that there could be games where Max Crosby can go off, and then there's games where Max Crosby can't because he's just double teamed and nobody's getting pressure elsewhere. So I think it's kind of tough for any pass rusher that comes to the Raiders right now because we don't have interior rush. So it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough. So we'll see what happens, man. What about Perryman? I think you bring Perryman back for maybe like $4 or $5 million a season. I'm fine with that. Ángeles says, thank you for your service. Most definitely, man. Thank you for your service. Most definitely. Rock is a gritty type. Is a corner gritty type. Kuntz was a 47.7 PFF with 0 sacks. Yeah, man. I mean, PFF is a good like resource, but I don't think that it's the end all be all, right? Because to PFF standards, a lot of great players in this league are just piss poor. So yes, Kuntz had 0 sacks, but I think that maybe he didn't have more than like 50 snaps this season, and that's not shit. That's not even what certain players make in a half. But some players make that in a half, right? So I think that Kuntz didn't see the field enough, man. I think he didn't see the field enough. I think he should definitely go back out there. And I remember actually, last year when he was getting reps, he was getting better. He was playing the run a lot better. He was just overall trending up, right? And then this year, his snaps just kind of died, man. Orlando says, "What's up? Defense will come with cap space and draft." I agree. Trade a what? Salute. Shout out to my guy Raiders. It says, shout out to you, Andy. Salute. Shout out to my guy Raider Jim. Trade the second we get for Carr and next year's first for Aaron Rodgers. I'm calling it. I'm good off that, man. That dude doesn't even know if he wants to play football no more, man. We had a dominant D end before and didn't help him out. Let's not make that mistake again. I'm not sure who we're talking about there. I would trade up for Jalen Carter, not for QB in this draft. I agree, man. I would 100% do that. If we were in the business of trading up, I would say go all out and get the best player in this draft, Jalen Carter, man. Defense in this order: free agency, Jamel Dean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, David Long, Daron Payne, draft Anthony Richardson, D-line Lucas Van Ness, Iowa, linebacker Jack Campbell, offensive guard Andrew Voorhees. Who else is in that draft? Who else? We only got fucking 6 picks. I'll tell you this. we're not paying CGJ fucking 16, 17 a year, and getting Duran paying for like fucking 20 mil. So, and also Jamel Dean for like 12, 13. That's, I don't know if that happens. I would love it though. I would love it though. Um, and I don't think anybody in the draft really, really, really does much for this team besides Anthony Richardson, and he probably wouldn't even play in his first season. Jack Campbell is just a guy, man. He's just a football player. I like Jack Campbell, but he's just a role player, bro. He's just a role player. But all the teams left in the playoff have a young QB. They do. They do have a young QB. And I was saying this, man. You know, it absolutely fucking pains me, bro. Like, the fucking Niners Super Bowl window is so fucking wide open, dude. They could trade away Trey Lance and be paying their starting QB fucking $700,000 for the next 4 seasons, bro. It sucks so bad, man. That sucks. That a team that I hate so much is in such a good position with a young QB that they have to literally pay fucking pennies, bro. $700K is all he's fucking paying on that Mr. Irrelevant contract. Dog, that shit, it hurts. It hurts, man. It seems like it's hard time to pick up a young QB like these other good teams. Will you go over Scout's draft in this live? He posted it on IG. I definitely can. I did see it last night, and I did comment on it. I believe he got Devin Witherspoon at 7 overall. But I know that Scout is really high. I think high on him. I think that Devin Witherspoon is like his number 1 corner in the draft. And then I think he went Thule at 39. I think we traded with the Panthers or something like that. He went Thule at 39, which I absolutely love. I just don't think that we got a good linebacker in the draft, and I didn't really like that. Let's see. What do you think Carr gets traded for, and to who in your best guess? I'd say maybe like a second and a fifth, maybe like a second and a fifth or a second and a fourth. I don't think it'll just be one pick, but I think that our highest pick will be a second round pick for Carr. Maybe like a second and a fourth, a second, a fourth, and maybe like a sixth next year, something like that. But yeah, I mean, maybe a second, third, and a fourth, depending on if we give DC and a pick. Depends though. But yeah, I couldn't squeeze it all in. Okay. If Ringo is dropping, I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go. Re-sign Perryman, cut Averett. Anthony Averett is a free agent. We don't have to cut him. Got to get a young QB. It's just time, guys. I would agree. I agree. I think get a young QB, but still go out and get a QB that can make a difference this year, like Brady in free agency, and have him sit behind Brady. I think that's the best option for anything. Card trade is not happening. We'll see. Should we trade Foster for some draft capital? Again, another player that's not under contract with the Raiders anymore. Foster Moreau is a free agent. He's a free agent, so he can't trade Foster for any capital. Foster Moreau, I mean, unless you re-sign him just to trade him. Maybe that's what you meant, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's not on the roster. Don't we have like 11 picks? Do we need draft capital? We do. We do need draft capital. We have horrible depth on this team. We definitely need draft capital, man. We have horrible depth on this team. You get Carter or Ringo with the first pick? Oh, man. Ringo is just – he has all the tools in the world, man. He could be a great corner. Ringo could be a great corner. My thing with him is just like, bro, he gets smoked a lot, bro. He gets smoked a lot. He's very raw to the position, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Actually, no, I wouldn't mind it in the first round. I'd mind it a lot. What do you think of Miles Murphy? I think he's dominant. I like him. Andy, would you trade for Trey Lance? If yes, what would you give up? I wouldn't. Trey Lance hasn't played football in like fucking 4 years, bro. He hasn't played football in like 4 years, dude. Coming out of college, he got drafted 3rd overall without playing without playing football in like a year and a half. Then he comes to the NFL, sits behind Garoppolo, doesn't play that year. Then this season, he doesn't play. He's fucking hurt. Hell no. Fuck that, dude. Dude hasn't played in so fucking long. I am good. I'm good. Ringo is raw, but if he drops to the second, then yeah. Trey Lance is garbage. I want Lamar Jackson. Well, Ritter coach, that's unfortunate, right? Because that's never going to happen. Gonzalez or Witherspoon, I think they're going to be beasts. Witherspoon, I like Witherspoon more. In my opinion. I think I think they're going to be beasts. Yeah, I think they're both going to be monsters. To be honest with you, I really do. I think they're both going to play very, very well. I don't know why, but Christian Gonzalez just looks like a Panther to me, man. I like a lot of corners, but not at 7. I agree. Ringo is dropping. He got lit up versus TCU. Miles Murphy combine will be sick. Yeah, a lot of these guys combines are going to be insane, man. A lot. One of my favorite players in this draft out of Michigan, DJ Turner. I think he's going to kill the combine and really skyrocket up of draft boards a ton, man. I really do think so. But yeah. Did we get those 7th round picks from one and not yet? I don't think so, not yet. Or wait, you mean the ones that we traded before the deadline? Yes, we got those picks. Yes. Big Hank, man. Big Hank looked good last night. Unfortunate that they lost. I hate the fact that the Niners won, man. It's fucking pissing me off. Trey Lance is a power passer in the wrong system. Niners left the F out with Brock Purdy. Great eye for who's efficient and fits the system. Yeah. I mean, Trey Lance, a power passer. I don't know what that means. A power passer, like he throws the ball with power, or like, huh? What do you think? Garrett Williams, corner out of Syracuse, and Brandon Joseph, safety out of Notre Dame. I like the safety out of Notre Dame. A lot of things that go unlooked. I think he's like a super smart kid too. I think he'll probably go in the mid rounds. I really like Garrett Williams out of Syracuse a ton. One of my favorite corners in this draft. If you guys would like to check out my mock draft that I did, I actually scooped him up in my mock draft in like the 4th or 5th round. Shout out to my guy Omar. Says I wanted Purdy and Lamar. I watched tape. A good QB this year is Tanner McKee, bro. Sav, take this, bro. I mean, I like. Yeah, I mean, this is my thing. For the longest time, I never looked at quarterbacks in the draft because it never seemed like we were either going to move on or it just never seemed like we had the need or the problem. So I never looked at quarterbacks in the draft, right? You look at the top 5, top 10, but outside of that, I was never looking at the Purdy's of the world. Lamar Jackson was an interesting one, right? It was like it was hard for analysts to grade him and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see, man. Power passer in the tradition of the deep ball. Oh, okay. So it's just a strong arm quarterback. Okay. Let's see. But Omar, man, I mean, if this guy ends up being a baller, Tanner McKee or Mekhi, who knows, man? Who knows? Who's my number 1 corner in the draft? For me, it's Cam Smith. Then right after that, it's probably Joey Porter Jr., then Devin Witherspoon at 3, and Christian Gonzalez, maybe around there. But I like a lot of guys in this draft. This cornerback draft is honestly amazing. So it's great that we have a cornerback need this year, and all these guys are coming out the draft because we need corners bad, and there's a lot of good corners in this draft, and I really like it. Who was good, and it was good, my guy Chris, man. Let's see, should be if we get more. We might get a lot of compensatory picks or whatever the fuck it's called. Gonzalez and Witherspoon more polished. Gonzalez will run a 4.29 in the combine. Terrific athleticism. Yeah, he's just not really strong. Doesn't really play aggressive, which is fine. I've mentioned that for guys that I want the Raiders to get. I don't really want super aggressive guys coming to the Raiders just because I know how it works, man. With the Raiders anytime that we get a player and he's supposed to be a good player, they put him on a magnifying glass. If he plays handsy or if he plays anything, like super close to the rules and regulations, they're just gonna throw the flag, man. They're just gonna throw the flag, man. That's just how it is. What up? Was good, K? Was good. Yeah, the best athletes are going to edge. Several edge players listed at DT, but they're just stunt. Yeah, they just stunt from the edge. Big Hank did the same thing, bro. I mean that's one thing, right? Is that for the longest time I saw a lot of websites listing Thule as a defensive tackle. He's an edge. Um, he's an edge for sure, but he could do a lot of stuff on the interior as well. Thule was listed as that. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that I really like. Another thing is like, okay, how do you grade a guy like Trenton Simpson? Is he a linebacker? Is he an edge rusher? What is he? What do you list him at? What do you scout him as? All that kind of stuff. So it's like we'll see what happens with a lot of these guys, but we'll see. Omar, man, shout out to the classic man Q. He says Tanner McKee is not good. Going right back at you. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I like a lot of these prospects this year. I was really, really disappointed when one of my favorite linebackers in this draft, Tommy Eichenberg, decided to go back to college, man, to Ohio State. That sucked. That sucked a lot. Not gonna lie, I really liked him. I felt like he was a guy that could come on your team in the second, third round and do good. I think that Tommy Eichenberg is what a lot of people thought or think Jack Campbell is, and I think they're completely different players. Let's see, Dak's ass, horrible. He sucks. You're talking about the corner, the one that won the Jim Thorpe Award, Super Omicron, corner that won the Jim Thorpe Award. Smart, fluid, and scrappy with NFL bloodlines. Yeah, my thing is that with him, isn't he like 5'10", 5'11", 5'9", somewhere like that. On top of that, I'm gonna be honest, I watched a lot of his games just because, Danian Tomlinson's like nephew or whatever the fuck it is. So you want to check out prospects like that, good come from a good bloodline. He won the Jim Thorpe Award. I was like, okay, let's watch this guy. Nothing fucking jumped off the film from him to me. I like him. I just don't think that he is what people say he is. I think that he's like I don't know. It depends on how you grade corners, man. But I have him around like fourth round. I love Tommy Eichenberg, my favorite linebacker maybe, but he wants to refine his technique a bit. I still felt he was a little bit raw and played very aggressive. Maybe he wants to control that a bit. Yeah. Eichenberg would be good. Well, he's back in Ohio. He's not in the draft. So, yeah. No reaches in the first 3 rounds this year, please. What's a reach, bro? What's a reach? I mean, if it fits your system, is it a reach? Is it a reach? I don't think so. I don't think so, right? Because, okay, look. Let's look at Scout's post, right? Scout drafted Devin Witherspoon at 7 overall. Now, if Devin Witherspoon becomes fucking Garyon Conley, he's a bust. He sucks. We shouldn't have reached. But if he becomes Jalen Ramsey, everybody's like, what a fucking smart pick. Who would have known? You got to take him there, right? So it's like that. It's tough. But if you go out and you get a guy like, if you go out and draft what was it, the Super Omicron Trey Hodges Tomlinson in round 1, that's a fucking reach. Easy. That's a reach. Even if he becomes super good. But yeah. What's a reach? Leatherwood, Arnett, Furl. Right. Because those all didn't pan out. But you could say that fucking Josh Jacobs was a reach because he's a running back. You don't take that. You don't take those guys. You don't take running backs in the first round, right? Was Saquon Barkley a reach? Well, it's tough, right? When you have guys like fucking Derrick Henry going in the second round. Watch tape on Mekhi Gardner, 6'2", 217, corner, runs a 4.344. We can get him maybe a third round. He's my Tariq Woolen of this draft. Problem with that is that boy Tariq Woolen's like 6'4". But yeah, trade Waller for more picks, draft a true tight end. Interesting. Evening, Andy, what have I missed? Is the evening where you at? Damn. Now, so we went over guys that I believe maybe cap casualties at the beginning of the free agency period, like Andre James, Brandon Bolden, Bilal Nichols, guys like that maybe cap casualties, right? They don't have too much guaranteed money on their contracts left. You could get rid of them. Maybe you could trade them, all this kind of stuff. Then we just kind of started talking about other guys, maybe restructuring and all this kind of stuff, and it led us to where we are now. Talking about free agents, draft prospects, all that kind of stuff. Thompson's a nickel. Yeah, if he's a nickel, I think that he played way too much on the outside. Trey Hodges Thompson, there's nothing wrong with being versatile, but I think colleges and high schools need to actually play prospects where it's going to actually help their future the most, right? Like if Trey Hodges Thompson played nickel his whole career at TCU and he won the Jim Thorpe Award there, then you would know, okay, maybe he's like a Mike Hilton. I can get him and he could be a game changer in the nickel. No, but when you have 65% of his film on the outside, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to value these guys or scout these guys. But at the end of the day, the colleges and universities, they're going to do what's best for their team, not for the Shout out to Omar. He says, bro, half these fans play Madden. Tanner has potential, and Andy, look at him. We can get him in the 6th round. Tanner McKee, right? Tanner McKee. He is it Meek McKay, MAKY or MAKEE? Tanner McKee. Witherspoon at 7, I feel is a reach in my opinion. Right. And I would feel like that right now too. But guess what? If he became fucking Deion Sanders, I wouldn't give a fuck. And neither would the NFL. What do you think of Riley Moss? The kid has ball skills. I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. You like Riley Moss? Raider Jim says he likes Tanner McKee. Brady is renting an apartment in Miami for $71,000 a month. Damn. Hope he goes to Miami. There you go, John. I mean, shit. Maybe he hopes he goes to Miami too. Let's see. Milk was good, my guy. Let's see. Tanner McKee is definitely going before the 6th round. Yeah, Tanner's probably like a 3rd round guy. Okay. Tanner McKee. What school is he playing? What school does Tanner play for? Some playing 3rd round, before the 6th. Yeah. Let's see. Stanford? Okay. Somebody who I did get to look a little bit was Jalen Redmond, and I kind of understand why people are liking Jalen Redmond. He's a pretty good guy. I'm gonna have to watch more of his tape, but so far what I like, I think he's pretty solid. I watched Tanner play. He's all right, but no, his pocket awareness and presence is worse than DC. Holy shit, dude. Damn. Holy fuck. Worse pocket presence than DC? That's fucked. How do you get better than that? Holy shit. That is tough. Q did not hold back, man. Damn. It's pretty shitty. But, I mean, Raider Jim kind of said it there. Not a lot of talent over there, but he's 6'6" with a great arm. And guess what? NFL QB coaches, get me Tanner McKee. I'm going to turn him into fucking the best QB ever. Because if he's got a great arm and he's 6'6", can see over basically every offensive lineman he has, somebody will be in the market for him. If he watched Brady, he would get better, though. I would be all over. I would be all for Tanner sitting behind Brady. Okay. We're better off with Stidham. I mean, I don't disagree, man. I think that if you just get, this is my thing, right? I'm seeing guys like Brock Purdy make it to the or almost make it to the Super Bowl, right? And yes, the Niners got lucky, right? But it just shows, man. It just shows that if you build a fucking phenomenal roster with great depth and you have a phenomenal staff, your fucking QB can be average as fuck. Like, bro, it's tough, man. Look, I like Brock Purdy. I think he's doing a good job over there, but look at what he's got. The number one overall defense. He's got fucking second best tight end. Probably the fucking top 3 running back in the game. Like, his receiving core is decent enough to get the job done. Like, I don't disagree with Raider Nation right here, man. Average QBs only go so far. I agree, bro. But Garoppolo was literally a throw away from winning that bitch. And he sucks. And he fucking sucks, bro. Like, he fucking stinks. Bro, that motherfucker, he can't fucking complete drag routes. That's how much that bum sucks, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. My thing is like, bro, look, you got the Mahomes, you don't have the Josh Allens in the playoffs anymore, but you got the Mahomes, the Burrows, and Jalen Hurts, right? Those guys. Jalen Hurts was like a second or third rounder, and Mahomes and Burrow was first overall pick, but Mahomes is a first rounder. And then you got fucking Brock. You got fucking Brock Purdy. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, not really, bro. Not really, because fucking Tony Romo was an undrafted guy. You know, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. 54-97. Bosa and Warner. Average QB can also lose the game. Look at Dak. Yes, but here's the problem. They're paying Dak $70 million this season in guaranteed money. So they couldn't build a lot around him. Brock Purdy, on the other hand, is making $700K, bro. It's kind of fucked. It's kind of tough. He's got one of the best O-lines. I think that on defense should just be a fucking priority, bro. I think that you kind of fix your quarterback situation for this year in free agency, and you just fucking invest crazy on the defense, man. Like crazy on the defense. I think that you have to go all out on defense, man. Like, draft, free agency. Like, bro, if we have 11 picks in the draft, I think 9 of them should be defense, bro. Like, that's how much I think we need to go defense, dude. Like we haven't invested shit. Bro, we drafted 2 running backs last year for whatever reason, 2 offensive linemen, and we only drafted 2 defensive guys. Both of them were inactive for like half of our games. Fucking Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. were both inactive for like half of the fucking games. We didn't invest shit on the defense last year at all. Yeah, you got Chandler Jones. We see how that worked out. We signed Anthony Averett. Motherfucker was hurt. He was getting smoked. He didn't look good. And then we traded for fucking Rock Ya-Sin, who also got hurt. We just need to invest on the defense, bro. Like, bro, we literally only took 2 defensive players in last year's draft. And took 2 running backs. And then signed like 3 more as UDFAs. And then signed fucking Amir Abdullah and Brandon Bolden. Like, bro, we just need to go defense. Simple. If we got 11 picks, 9 of them defense, bro. 9. Oh, we need to go crazy on the defense, bro. Like, come on. I've been craving the defense even before we drafted Carr, bro. Like, there's the teams, man, they go out there and they just, all right, defense got us. And I'm not expecting our defense to be scoring points. I don't want that. But I think that the Raiders, like, bro, free agency, defense, and a quarterback. And then after that, bro, you better draft 90% defense, bro. Because last year we only had 2 picks on the defense side of the ball, and they didn't play for the majority of the season. Ryan, I agree. But at the end of the day, he's playing great. He has 3 picks to 16 touchdowns. Right? Like, he's making the right decisions, man. He did. He came in at the perfect moment. But at the same time, he has to execute, and he's executing. Like, when are we seeing Purdy be like, nah, he's not cutting it? Like, when have we seen that in these games, right? Like, when have we seen, like, oh, that was a bad mistake. That's a rookie mistake. That's why he went seventh round. We haven't seen any of those moments. Like, he's playing good. I'm not going to take that away from him. He has a phenomenal roster around him. I agree. But look, man, I think that we just need to go fucking defense. First round defense, second round defense. Like, bro, I want a starting linebacker. I want a starting defensive lineman. I want a starting corner, and I want a starting safety at the end of this fucking draft. And there's no reason why we can't get that. There's no reason. Sidney Brown would come into the Raiders, be a starting safety immediately. Drew Sanders, starting linebacker immediately. Thule, starting on the D-line immediately. Corners, which one do you want? There's a bunch of fucking good corners in this draft. You feel me? So it's like, bro, we got to do, like, we just got to go all out on defense, man. Carr's going to get traded because ain't no one paying him $40 million. Absolutely, duh. I mean, look. This is the thing with DC, right? Right now, he's in a state where he makes his money and he keeps his money. That motherfucker, I don't think is gonna want to go to New York to the Jets, where he's gonna get like fucking 50% of that shit taken away, or New Jersey, wherever he's gonna live in. I don't think he's gonna want to go to Washington, where I think it's just as fuck there. I don't think he's gonna want to. I don't think he's gonna want to go to any of those places. I think he's gonna also want to go to a place where he's gonna keep majority of that money. Dude, you're comparing Purdy to Burrow? Fuck no, I'm not. No. What? Burrow is that fucking guy, dog. Bro, Burrow need to be in the conversation for the best QB in the league. But I'm just saying, that man, bitch ass Purdy getting it done. Carr is definitely going to be a last resort, especially with Brady on the market. Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like many teams understand where they sit and where they place on potentially getting Brady. Bet you were getting more running backs in the draft. Watch Cowgirls make a bid for Carr. That'd be hilarious. Luke Kuechly. Huh? Luke Kuechly. Carr is smart. He ain't going nowhere cold. He ain't going nowhere cold. I'm dead. Maybe the Giants. Maybe the Giants let go of Daniel Jones. Let him walk in free agency and want DC. But all I'm saying is that he's smart, man. I think at the end of the day, bro, it's like he's gotta go to somewhere where he's gonna be comfortable, and with that no trade clause, he has all the power. He has all the powers. Drew Sanders is Luke Kuechly 2.0. High praise, but even as a person that really likes Drew Sanders, no. Maybe because they're both white, but no. They play completely different. Luke Kuechly is not a guy that can rush off the edge consistently. And Drew Sanders isn't somebody that could play that Tampa 2 mic that drives in between the safeties, right? He can't do that. But my thing is that he can play the mic in a 3-4. He could play your outside linebackers in your 3-4. He could rush as a DN in a 4-3. He can guard running backs out the backfield in either or 3-4-4-3. He could do a lot of shit. Bro, to me, it's like Luke Kuechly is like, if you look at the linebackers of the last 10 years, yeah, because I don't think Ray's played in the last 10 years. You look at the linebackers in the last 10 years, Luke Kuechly's the best one. He's the number one linebacker in the last 10 years. Right? Yeah. Yesterday was his worst game. Philly's going to go hard at Purdy. He's showing his play under pressure is subpar. Bro, I don't give a fuck. If the Niners fucking get smoked and Purdy gets smoked, good. That's what I want. I hate those dudes. What I'm saying is he's getting it done though. Bro, I don't disagree, bro. I want like I said, if we got 11 picks, I want 9 of them on defense. I don't want nothing on offense, bro. Like nothing. There's no excuse for our offense to be bad. There's no excuse. We got rid of that excuse. DC's gone. Like we got no excuse for this offense to be bad. Especially if you get Josh Jacobs back. Especially if you get Brady in free agency, bro. You got the league leader in rushing yards who had over 2,000 yards of offense. You got Devontae Adams who had over 1,500 yards of offense. You got fucking Darren Waller. You got slot receiver Hunter Renfrow. Bro, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You had a top 12 offensive line. No excuse. No excuse. I don't give a fuck. This offense needs to be in the top 3 of scoring, points per game, yards, all kinds of shit. All of that. All of that. We need to be in all of that shit this next season, bro. But we also need to build a fucking great defense. But guess what? We've already built the offense, so we need to go out there and just defense. We need to just go crazy on defense, man. Because Brady's got business and interest in Vegas? Absolutely. Oh, I think y'all are going back and forth in the chat. Let's see. We only need a speedster, a right tackle. We don't even need that. That shit's a luxury. That is a luxury, but you don't need that. A right tackle? Hey, man, re-sign a Lewin, or if he drops those penalties down in half, you got yourself a great right tackle. But, bro, this offensive line was ranked like 12. Brady's offensive line this season was ranked like 27th or 28th. Go out there, draft fucking defense, sign defense, give Patrick Graham all the shit he needs. Bruh. Ain't that something? Isn't that something, bro? Super Bowl is in Vegas. We about to show out. That's funny, man. The Super Bowl is in Vegas. So when it was in Tampa, he won it in Tampa. The following year, the Rams won it in LA. And then this year, where is it this year? Shout out to my guy Frank, man, was good. Al Davis was drafting speed to get a little. I don't even know what he's saying. Too many ifs. Yeah, we need to turn them into certains, but I feel what you're saying. But I think they're having a speedster and a right and all that shit. That's a luxury, man. You can't have everything. Look at that man, Burrow. Burrow, they didn't give a fuck. They got Landon Collins. And at the end of the day, he still sucks. Burrow's still getting sacked like crazy. That man's still getting it done, though. Like, he's still getting it done. That line is still cheeks. I can't confirm. I'm not doing the stats and analytics. AZ, what is everybody saying? AZ. Everyone forgot about the defense already. Shout out to my guy Graf in the building. The blueprint is there. SF, Baltimore, Cincy, build the defense. Simple. But not only that, bro, it's like this man. Bro, Eli Apple's a starting corner for those motherfuckers, bro. Like, you don't have everything in this league, bro. You don't. So you have to make with what you have. Simple. Chargers bringing in Greg Olsen for offensive coordinator interview. Please do. Oh, Super Bowl's in Arizona. What the horrible place. Horrible. Horrible. Like, come on, man. What do you think about Netane Muti? I think that he should have I think he should be in strong consideration and have a chance to battle it out in camp for that right guard spot. I think so. I think he should. I don't know if Tom Brady is a good idea. He can't move around, same as Carr. Yes and no. If you watch Brady, he climbs the pocket. He moves within the pocket. The thing is, DC doesn't climb the pocket. He doesn't make plays within his space. He doesn't do that. But Tom Brady does. That motherfucker was getting sacked almost every play against the Cowboys, and he was still trying to shrug off Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. He was trying to do everything inside that bitch. Meanwhile, other players just fucking sit down and take a sack. Get Brady, bring back Josh, and go in on defense. Simple, bro. It's pretty simple. Like I said, if you got 11 picks, 9 of them bitches better be on defense. Linebacker, corner, safety, D-line. We need at least a starter on every single one of those positions at the end of this freaking draft in offseason. We need like 10 corners. We need like 5 linebackers. We need a dominant defensive tackle. We need everything on defense, man. We need Sidney Brown in the back end as safety, or Deshaun Elliott, either or both. I'm fine with that. Like, come on, man. We just, I don't know, man. I think I'm just more mad because I'm seeing the Niners being a game away from the Super Bowl with fucking Brock, and it hurts me. I hate this so much. So fucking much. If we go Miller, Parham, Netane Muti, right tackle, Illuminor, would you be okay with a late round rookie left guard? Sure. But that means that you better have drafted 3 safeties, 3 corners, and 3 linebackers already. Fine, go for it. Defense all the way through. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. It's pretty simple. Your priorities are already there. You got to re-sign Brady. You got to re-sign Jacobs. You have to. Fucking 2,000 yards of your offense last year was through Jacobs, bro. You cannot let that walk out the fucking. You can't. You can't let that walk out. And then you get Brady. Simple. So what happens when you stack a defense? Facts. You can have one fucking dude come in. You can have Nick Bosa come out and Samson Ebukam come in and fucking get the same amount of pressure. It's like, oh, build the fucking defense. Draft defense. Sign defense. It's like, fuck, dude. Come on, man. Re-sign Cleat. Facts. Niners have the best D in the league, but they'll get torched by first-round QBs. If they get to the Super Bowl, we got to draft a QB, Andy. Bro, they got torched by Stidham. Fuck a first-round QB, bro. Stidham put up 34 on their fucking face. They're beatable. They're beatable for sure. A few more plays being made in that game, we fucking win. But it didn't happen. And it fucking hurts. And it sucks. Bro, shit sucks, bro. It sucks. Yes, we need defensive players, but you can't ignore the O-line. But what do we mean by that, bro? Like, are we ignoring an offensive line that's 30th ranked? No, we're ignoring an offensive line that was top 10. So, like, what are we ignoring here? Like, what's up? Like, come on, man. Make it make sense. Our defense sucks, but we want to go fucking Anthony Richardson at fucking 7. What's up with y'all, man? What's up? What's up? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Fucking want to get Paris Johnson at 7 overall. Fuck that. Give me fucking Drew Sanders at 7 and keep it pushing. Simple. Todd Gurley. Man, what the fuck year is this man living in? said Todd Gurley. Listen, man. Fuck that. I gotta go. Shout out to everybody, man, that pulled up. Really quick, I'm gonna read this out and I'm gonna head out of here.
Jump out, baby.
Shout out to my guy Raider Private. He says, thought Mark Davis and Jerry Jones have history. Could they possibly discuss a quarterback swap? Derek for Dak after a horrible loss? Dog, what are we saying? If Dak came here, it wouldn't move shit. It'd be worse. His contract is even worse. Hell no, man. Hell no. Dak fucking 13 games and like 16 picks. I'm good. I'm good, bro. I promise you I'm good. If they discuss that shit, I might as well just kill myself. Shout out to Raider Profit, though. People want QB and O-line as if we didn't just use 4 picks on Adams, Parham, and White. Come on, man. You're prior Leatherwood first round. Bro, I was just saying this, bro. Last year, we only invested 2 picks on the defense, bro, and they were inactive for half the fucking season, bro. Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. were inactive half the goddamn year. And we want to go more offense. We clearly need to go defense, bro. We drafted 2 running backs and 2 offensive linemen last year. What's up, man? Like, let's chill out. Let's chill out and let's go invest on the defense, man. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple, man. But listen, I'm going to head out of here. I'll see you when I see y'all. I love y'all. Stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'm out, you guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Death Star.